Game week 12 is a week a lot of people will be playing their wildcards, which is why I have built the perfect game week 12 wildcard team for you guys. But before we get started, make sure you guys like the video, because the only thing we like more than likes on this channel are green arrows, and hopefully this wildcard will give you a green arrow. But let's start with the defense. I've gone with double Arsenal, like you would expect. Gabriel, no discussion needed. The discussion that needs to be had is obviously Raya versus Timber. And I've gone with the Arsenal goalkeeper. And there's one reason I've gone with Raya. I was looking at Arsenal's fixtures coming up in the Premier League. Game week 13, 14, 15 all happen within 1 week. And Arsenal have Chelsea, Brentford, Aston Villa during that period. Do I expect Timber to start all three? Probably he does, if I was to have like a bet on it. But is there an odd chance that Ben White might come in for one of those games? I think the answer to that question is yes. And even if Ben White doesn't start, could Timber see reduced minutes in those 3 games? Maybe he comes off in the 70th minute of one of those games? The answer to that question is also probably yes. We know Raya is never going to get rotated in the Arsenal team. He's going to start every single game during that Christmas period, which is why I think it's probably safer going with Raya over Timber. And Timber is very expensive right now in FPL. He's 6.1 million. Raya is still very expensive for a keeper. Let's not lie here. But I think the certainty with minutes over that Christmas period, you probably do lean towards David Raya. I've also gone with Virgil van Dijk. Now, I know Liverpool, we have a lot of question marks over them as a whole, but at the same time, the fixtures that Liverpool have coming up are too good not to have some sort of Liverpool assets in. Virgil van Dijk, we know he will get the odd DEFCON here and there. He's probably one of the best defenders in around a 6 million price tag, bar obviously Gabriel for DEFCON. Also, we know Van Dijk can obviously pop in with a header. He had a goal disallowed yesterday against Manchester City. That's why I think the safety net on Virgil van Dijk and some sort of Liverpool coverage is very nice. Obviously, people want to maybe downgrade funds, go to Kanate. I can also hear that, but I think Virgil van Dijk, during, like I said, the busy Christmas period, you know Van Dijk's going to play every single game, and you want that during that period. I've also gone with Chris Richards. I think for 4.5, he's probably arguably the best defender to own. We know he's going to play most games. I think there is that chance that he might get the odd benching, because the Crystal Palace defender that they bought in the summer, Cavanagh, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's obviously coming for a game here and there for Crystal Palace, and he's actually looked all right. He looked very, very good against Brighton on the weekend. So I do think there is a possibility, but we know Chris Richards is first choice. He's going to play most games. He's a DEFCON monster. He's brilliant to have. And I've also gone to Joachim Andersen. Again, Sunderland at home in game week 12 could be a difficult fixture, because obviously Sunderland have been brilliant, but obviously we know Andersen, he's going to get DEFCON here and there. Actually, not even here and there. More often than not, he's going to get DEFCON. He's just a brilliant 4.5 million defender. On the bench, I've also gone with Van Hecke from Brighton. He's 4.4 million currently. Again, this allows 5 playing defenders. He's another one where he's ticking over with DEFCON quite nicely. Brighton's fixtures are not too bad in coming weeks. They've kept clean sheets in the last 2 games. Not too bad. The other bench option is Dubravka. Listen, he's the 4 million keeper that everyone's going to have. I've also gone with Elliot Anderson. Listen, 5.3 million currently in FPL. We know he scored a penalty the other day when obviously Gibbs, White and others weren't on the pitch. But we know he takes set pieces for Nottingham Forest. We know in terms of DEFCON, he's an absolute monster. Even on the Sean Dyche, his DEFCON numbers have been very, very good so far. So him coming in for that odd game here and there, listen, you're guaranteed at least 3 to 4 points with him. And I've also gone with Mark Gui on the bench, just 4.2. Like I said, there are no good free forwards in FPL right now, unless you're probably going to go with Thiago. But I think with the team that I have right now, it's very, very difficult to get to him. So that is the defense and the bench. Let's head over to the midfield. Now the midfield, and you could argue the midfield is probably the hardest area to construct on a wildcard team right now. But I've gone with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka has Tottenham at home in game week 12. And I think if you're betting against Erling Haaland captaincy in game week 12 when he goes away to Newcastle, it's not a bad option. And listen, Bukayo Saka with himself, he takes penalties. He takes some set pieces for Arsenal. He can obviously score goals. He can get assists. He can get the odd DEFCON here and there. He's just a brilliant FPL asset. I think his returns, obviously this week was very nice in game week 11. Before that, I think he's been slightly unfortunate. But listen, he's still a brilliant FPL asset. I've gone to Semenyo. Now, this is obviously a tricky one because Bournemouth haven't really, or let's say Semenyo hasn't really been in around the FPL points over the last couple of weeks. And I've said, I think Semenyo is the worst FPL asset when Krupi Jr. starts. I think he's the worst FPL asset when Justin Kluivert starts. But at the same time, the fixtures for Bournemouth coming up are very, very nice. Game week 12, they obviously have West Ham at home. Then they go away to Sunderland. Then they have Everton at home, Chelsea at home, Manchester United away, Burnley at home, Brentford away. That run of fixtures is not too bad, and I think Semenyo can obviously get himself FPL points during that period. Of course, if you're betting against Semenyo, I don't mind it. I don't blame people if they do that. But listen, for now, Semenyo is in my team. I've also gone with Brian Mbeumo. Now, I was trying to think of the United midfielder that I would want to have in a wildcard team, and it kept coming back to Brian Mbeumo, even though he does obviously go away to AFCON around game week 16/17. But Manchester United's fixtures over the next couple of games are obviously very nice. We know Manchester United are better at home. They obviously have a lot of home games coming up over the next 4 games in the Premier League. Brian Mbeumo will have opportunities to score goals. He will have opportunities to get assists. We know he takes some set pieces. He has routes to points. I think Brian Mbeumo is a brilliant FPL asset. And listen, he was arguably in a different sort of position to what he's used to against Tottenham on the weekend, playing on the left-hand side. Yet he still scored. He's just a brilliant player and a brilliant FPL asset. Now, the Liverpool midfielder that I've gone with is Dominic Szoboszlai. And this is the area where I was debating a lot. Because Szoboszlai's underlying numbers haven't been, let's say, brilliant. But we know Szoboszlai can get DEFCON here and there. We know Szoboszlai is a good ball striker. We know he's playing number 10 in that Liverpool side right now. That, listen, they're not going to get any worse. We also know Szoboszlai, he's a 90-minute man. And that's obviously, again, during the Christmas period, very, very crucial in FPL. I've gone with Szoboszlai for now. Liverpool's fixtures are just too good not to have some sort of attacking coverage. But at the same time, if people maybe want to downgrade Szoboszlai to maybe someone like Minte from Brighton, I do hear it. There are not many other options that I do like during that price point. Obviously, you got Enzo Fernandez, but after the Burnley game in game week 12, do you really want Enzo? Probably not. And everyone just kept coming back to Szoboszlai. So I've gone with Szoboszlai for now, but listen, that is obviously an area of the pitch where a lot of people can have a debate about and maybe move funds around. But that is the midfield. Let's have a look at the attack. And the attack, listen, is quite obvious. You're going to go with Erling Haaland, the best player right now in the Premier League. The form he's in right now. Listen, even if the fixtures are difficult for Manchester City, which they're not, you still wouldn't bet against Erling Haaland in this form. He's just incredible. Like I said before, the best goal scorer the Premier League's ever seen. He has to be in. Then the second forward is where I think some people maybe will go with Mateta. Maybe some people might want Thiago. But I do want some sort of Crystal Palace attacking coverage. Obviously, we know Sarr is going to go to AFCON a bit later on. Mateta's going nowhere. He's going to be in the team for Crystal Palace. His minutes look good right now. Listen, it's just a lock in a wildcard, really. There's not much more to say. Crystal Palace's fixtures going forward are still very, very nice. And you'd want Mateta, listen. And he's a penalty taker as well, which, as we say in FPL, we always love. So that is my wildcard team right now for Game Week 12. If people are going to play it, let me know down below. And listen, if people want to see a Salah and a Haaland team, let me know down below. But for now, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we will be back soon.